Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something about men that most people don't realize. A man can laugh with anybody, he can hang out with anybody, he can even be friendly with the whole world. But when he chooses to share himself with a woman, that's a whole different level. See, men are not raised to open up. We are taught to be strong, to be tough, to carry the weight without showing weakness. But when a man finds someone he can finally open that door for, that's not casual, that's special. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something about men that many people don't truly understand. A man can stand tall in front of the whole world. He can wear the mask of strength. He can walk around like nothing can touch him. But deep inside, he carries things that he doesn't show to anybody. From the time a man is young, he is taught to be tough, to hold it in, to never cry, to never show weakness, to never let anybody see what's really going on inside. That's how most men are raised. So when you see a man laughing, joking, acting like life is all good, don't think that means he has no struggles or no emotions. It just means he's been trained not to let you see them. But when a man finds someone that he can actually open up to, someone he feels safe enough to take that mask off for, that's not just another person in his life, that's someone truly special. See, ladies and gentlemen, for a man, sharing deep emotions is not something that comes easy. It's not something he does casually, and it's definitely not something he does with just anybody. Men can share a drink with their friends. They can talk about sports, about work, about business, but that's surface level. That's conversation. But when he comes to you and he starts telling you what's going on in his heart, what's keeping him up at night, what he dreams about, what he fears, that's a whole different kind of sharing. That means you've broken through the wall that he's built around himself, a wall that most people never even get close to. And once you get inside that wall, you have to understand just how rare and valuable that position really is. When a man shares his deep emotions, he's putting his trust in you. And trust for a man is everything. A man doesn't gamble with his emotions. He doesn't just throw his heart out there to see what happens. If he's letting you see the side of him that's vulnerable, the side of him that admits he doesn't have it all figured out, the side of him that confesses his doubts, that's because he believes you're different. He believes you won't judge him, you won't laugh at him, you won't use his pain against him. He believes you'll listen, you'll care, you'll protect the very parts of him that he doesn't show to the rest of the world. And let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that kind of trust is more valuable than gold. Now, I want you to think about something. A man can be surrounded by people all day long but still feel alone. Because real connection isn't about being in the same room. It's about being able to share what's real inside. And if you are the one he chooses to share his real self with, if you are the one he takes his armor off for, that's proof right there that you hold a special place in his life. Don't overlook that. Don't think it's small. Don't brush it off as nothing. That is a man saying to you, without even using the words, "You matter to me. I trust you. I feel safe with you." Men don't come home and talk about their emotions to everybody. Most men won't even tell their closest friends about the things that hurt them, the things that scared them, the things that weigh heavy on their hearts. But if he comes to you and says, "I'm worried," or "I don't know what to do," or even just, I feel tired, that's him exposing a part of himself that he normally keeps locked up tight. That's him letting you step into his private world. That's him showing you that you are not just somebody he spends time with. You are somebody he trusts with his truth. And trust me, that is not something a man gives lightly, because once a man gives you that part of himself, he is showing you that you are not like the rest. You are special to him in a way that's rare, in a way that's deep, in a way that's hard to put into words. And when you recognize it, when you honor it, when you treat it with the respect it deserves, you will see just how much value you truly hold in that man's life. A man can walk through life looking like he's unshakable, like nothing bothers him, but inside he carries battles that very few people ever see. From the outside, he might look calm, steady, and in control, but what most don't understand is that every man carries fears, insecurities, and struggles that he hides away. Society tells men that they have to be strong, that they can't show weakness, that they can't admit when they're scared or when life feels too heavy. So most men learn to keep it all bottled up, to fight their battles alone, to let nobody see what's really going on. That's why when a man finally decides to share his fears and struggles with you, it is not a small thing. It is not just conversation. It is not just passing the time. It is his way of saying, you mean more to me than anybody else. When a man starts opening up about what keeps him awake at night, about the challenges he's facing, about the doubts he wrestles with in the quiet moments, that's a side of him most people will never get to see. He's not just telling you stories, he's handing you pieces of his heart. For a man to come forward and admit, I'm scared about this, or I don't know how I'm going to handle that, is a sign that he trusts you with the very things he normally hides. He's showing you that he doesn't just see you as company or a distraction. He sees you as someone safe, someone who can carry his truth without judgment, someone who can hold his fears and still see the strength in him. Think about it. Most men would rather keep their struggles to themselves. They'd rather stay silent, push through, or bury their pain because admitting it feels like weakness. But when a man chooses to sit with you and say, I don't have all the answers, that is vulnerability at its highest. That is him saying, I believe you won't use this against me. I believe you won't look at me as less. I believe you'll stand beside me even in the moments when I don't feel like I have it all together. That kind of trust is rare. It's sacred. And it's not just about the words he speaks. When a man shares his struggles with you, he's also showing you his need for connection. He's showing you that he doesn't want to carry the weight alone anymore. If he lets you see his stress about work, his worries about the future, or the personal battles he's fighting inside, he's drawing you closer into his world. That's not something he would ever do if you were just another person passing through his life. That's something he only does when he feels you have a permanent place in his story. It's important to recognize what that really means. A man who tells you his struggles is showing you that he sees you as more than just someone to spend time with. He sees you as a partner, a confidant, a safe place where he can lay down his burdens. He is revealing that your presence gives him relief, that your support gives him strength, that your understanding gives him the courage to keep pushing forward. That is not ordinary. That is extraordinary. When a man feels he can look you in the eye and tell you the truth about his fears, that means you've reached a place in his heart that others never get near. He doesn't need to pretend with you. He doesn't need to act like he has it all figured out. With you, he can be real, and that is the highest form of intimacy. It's not about money. It's not about gifts. It's not about surface level attention. It's about trust. It's about honesty. It's about a deep bond that says, you are not just here for the good times. You're someone I want beside me in the hard times too. So when a man tells you his fears and struggles, know what that really means. Know that he sees you as special, as irreplaceable, as someone who matters in a way few ever will, because for a man, showing his struggles is not weakness. It's his way of showing love, his way of saying, you are not just company to me, you are home. When a man talks about his dreams, he's not just making conversation. Dreams are private, they're delicate, and they're often things he doesn't say out loud because people don't always understand them. Most men will keep their dreams tucked away inside, sometimes because they're afraid of failure, sometimes because they're afraid of being laughed at, and sometimes because they just don't want to risk exposing something that matters so much to them. But when a man looks at you and begins to share those visions of where he wants to go, what he wants to build, and who he hopes to become, you need to recognize what's happening. That is not casual talk. That's him painting a picture of his future and inviting you to stand inside the frame. A man may talk to anyone about the weather, sports, or everyday things, but he doesn't tell just anyone what his heart longs for. If he shares with you the business he wants to start, the places he wants to go, the lifestyle he wants to build, or the difference he hopes to make in this world, that is him opening the door to his inner world. And even more powerful, if he starts using words like we instead of I, if he talks about how life could look for both of you, not just himself, that's a signal that you are not just a passing chapter in his life. You are part of the vision he is building for tomorrow. This kind of sharing is deeper than affection, deeper than attraction, deeper than temporary interest. Dreams are tied to a man's identity, to his sense of purpose, to the very reason he gets up in the morning. When he hands you that part of himself, he is saying, I see you as part of my destiny. And that's not something he would risk unless you held a very special place in his heart. Think about it. A man could keep his goals hidden and nobody would ever know if he achieved them or not. But when he lays them before you, he's putting himself in a vulnerable position because now you know what success and failure mean to him. He's trusting you not to dismiss his vision, not to mock it, and not to discourage him. He's showing you the most personal part of his future. And if he includes you in it, that's his way of saying he can't picture that future without you standing there. That's a kind of intimacy that goes far beyond surface level romance. Men dream about all kinds of things: building a career, traveling the world, creating financial security, making their mark on something bigger than themselves. But when he says to you, one day I want us to live here, or I see us raising a family like this, or I imagine us building something together, that's him translating his dreams into your shared story. That's his way of handing you the key to a future he has been quietly designing in his heart. We give him the keys to a future he has been quietly designing in his heart. And when you listen, when you encourage him, when you show belief in that dream, you become not just a companion, but a partner in his journey. Understand this, men don't always communicate their love with flowery words or grand gestures. Sometimes the greatest declaration of love is in the way he shares his vision, because if he didn't see you as special, if he didn't see you as permanent, if he didn't see you as someone who could stand the test of time, he would never risk pulling you into those private conversations. He'd keep it light, keep it safe, and keep it temporary. But when he tells you his goals, when he talks about what he's working toward, and when he places you inside those dreams, that's proof you are not just here for today. You are in his tomorrow too. So when a man opens up and shares his dreams, don't overlook it. Don't treat it as just talk. See it for what it is. The clearest sign that he values you, that he trusts you, and that he wants you by his side as his vision turns into reality. Most men don't like talking about their past mistakes. A man will carry them quietly, bury them deep, and move through life as if they don't exist, because admitting them feels like exposing weakness. For many men, mistakes are wounds. Reminders of times they fell short, times they disappointed themselves, or times they disappointed others. It's not easy for a man to look back on where he went wrong because pride gets in the way. Pride makes him want to act like he's always been strong, always been in control, always had it together. That's why when a man actually opens up to you about his past mistakes, it means you've reached a part of him most people never get to see. A man doesn't reveal the times he failed unless he feels safe. He doesn't tell you about the relationships he messed up, the opportunities he lost, or the choices he regrets unless he believes you won't use it against him. If he says to you, I shouldn't have done that, or that decision cost me something, he's not just telling you a story, he's handing you his vulnerability. He's trusting you with the truth of his imperfection. That's his way of showing that he values honesty with you more than he values keeping up the image of being flawless. It takes a lot for a man to sit down and say, I made a mistake, because to him, admitting that feels like pulling the curtain back on the parts he'd rather hide. But when he looks you in the eye and shares those moments, that's a sign you are different. He believes you'll understand, he believes you won't judge, and most of all, he believes you'll see the man he is today, not just the mistakes of his past. That's a powerful kind of trust. And think about what that really means. When a man shares his regrets, he's not just talking about what happened. He's also showing you the lessons he's learned. He's saying, this is where I went wrong, and this is how I grew from it. That's valuable because it tells you he's not stuck in the past. He's using it to build a better future. By letting you in on that process, he's inviting you to understand the journey that shaped him. He wants you to know not only who he is, but how he became that man. This kind of openness doesn't come easy. Most men would rather stay quiet, keep their past locked up, and let people believe what they want to believe. But if he trusts you enough to say, here's where I stumbled, here's where I fell short, then you need to understand how special that is. He's not trying to impress you with a perfect image. He's letting you see the cracks, the flaws, the very things he usually hides. That means he values a real connection with you more than keeping up appearances. And there's something else, too. When a man tells you about his mistakes, he's also giving you the chance to see his heart. He's showing you that he cares enough to be honest, even when honesty is uncomfortable. That's not weakness. That's strength, because it takes courage to face your own past, and it takes even greater courage to share it with someone else. By doing that, he's telling you, I trust you with the parts of me that aren't polished, the parts of me that hurt, the parts of me I don't show anyone else. Understand how rare that is. A man can spend years covering up what went wrong in his life, but if he's willing to uncover it for you, it's because he sees you as safe.